Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll put our hands together as we take our seats. Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, our vice presidents, our first ladies, honorable ministers, Speaker of Parliament, President of Senate, President of the Pan-African Parliament, ambassadors who are here, all distinguished delegates. Thank you. And a warm welcome to you, Your Majesty, Your Excellency, President Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who's the host president, who's my president, affectionately referred by everybody as ED. Those that saw the video that was playing much earlier, he says, I'm ED, is commonly and lovingly referred to as ED. Distinguished heads of state and government, vice president, honorable ministers, and everybody in the room, we're here for the official opening session of the 44th Ordinary Summit of Sadc Heads of State and Government, coming to you live at the new Parliament building in Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare. This area is called Mount Hampden. The Sadc Summit, distinguished delegates, is responsible for the overall policy direction and control of the community, ultimately making it the policy-making institution of SADC. So that is why we are here. The let me just tell you, Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, it's a bit of a small miracle that I'm here standing before you this morning. Because last night I got a call from Foreign Affairs Ministry, and the gentleman at the end of the line said to me, is that Super? I said, yeah, Ndini, which means it's me. And he says, you are ED tomorrow morning at the official opening of the 44th Ordinary Summit. I said, what? He said, you are ED. I just told you our president is affectionately referred to as ED. So, obviously, after realizing that there's a bit of a shock on the other side of the line, he says, no, you are ED, Events Director. So, I am here as the Events Director. It's such an honor, Your Majesty, distinguished Excellencies, Honorable Vice Presidents, Ministers, First Ladies, Ambassadors, and all esteemed delegates here, to have this honor and remarkable opportunity to be directing the King, the President, this morning. I have this honor not just to myself. I would like at this stage to introduce my co-ED. She hails from the beautiful country of Zambia, as well as
in Windhoek, Republic of Namibia. And this is why we commemorate 17th August as Sadc Day. So happy Sadc Day to you all. Allow me to introduce their excellencies and heads of states who are up here. We have His Majesty King Mswati III from the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, the President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of Sadc. His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chairperson of Sadc. We have Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Politics Security Cooperation. She's female, we need another applause. Thank you. We have from the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, the President and outgoing Chairperson of Sadc. The Republic of Namibia, we have His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the President and outgoing Chairperson of the Sadc Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Republic of Malawi, the home heart of Africa, we have His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Makavi Chakwera. Excellency My apologies, he's not here yet, but he should be joining us. Republic of Botswana, we have His Excellency Dr. Mkwesi Kiabeswe Masisi. Republic of Madagascar, His Excellency Nirina Rajolina. The Kingdom of Lesotho, the Kingdom in the Sky, the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, Mr. Samuel Mshokwani Matekan. The Republic of Mauritius, we have the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Louis Stephen Obegadi. The Republic of Zambia is represented by Honorable Mulambo Haimbe, State Council MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Republic of Zambia. We have from the Union of Comoros, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Mohamed Mbaye. Last but not the least, from the head of states and government representatives, we have His Excellency Ambassador Claude Morel, Special Envoy of the President of the Republic of Seychelles. Up front here, we also have His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Frederick Shava, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, but also the chairperson of the Sadc Council of Ministers. Last but not the least, up there we have His Excellency Mr. Elias Mpedi Mahosi, the Executive Secretary of Sadc. In our midst, we also have the representatives from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete, who is the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of UNECA. We also have our Vice Presidents for the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Retired General Dr. Constantine Chibengwa, Vice President. Retired Colonel Kembe Mohadi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. We also have the Speaker of Parliament, Comrade Jacob Mdenda. The President of the Senate, Comrade Mabel Chinomora. We also have representatives from the international and continental and regional organization. I won't mention them by name, but we have the President of the Arab Bank of Economic Development for Africa, Badia. We have representatives from Africa, from the African Development Bank. We have the representatives from Africa CDC, Sadc Parliamentary Forum. The First Ladies were also recognized, including Amai Mnangagwa. And all Sadc citizens who are here, our members of the diplomatic community, ICPs, who are represented here, you are all welcome to this 44th Sadc Summit of Heads of State and Government. Our program, we are running short, is as follows. We will start with introductory remarks from the Executive Secretary of SADC. Thereafter, we will have a welcome speech from our host president here, and we will tell you about the rest of the program. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Elias Mahosi to come and deliver his remarks from this podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ED and Deputy ED. I hope we don't have any ambitions of being the other ED, but it's good to dream. Your Majesty King Swati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and the Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chairperson of SADC, and our host of the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Felix Anton Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and the Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the incoming Chairperson of the SADC organ, Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the President of the Republic of Namibia and the outgoing Chairperson of the organ, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, or your representatives or their representatives, Your Excellency General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Retired Kembo Mohadi, the Vice President of this great republic, Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Frederick Shava, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and our Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Your Excellency Mr. Clavat Katete, Under Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers here present, Ambassadors, High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of our partner institutions, regional, continental and international organizations, members of the Fourth Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning, I believe. Good morning and a happy SADC Day to you all. The 17th. Your Excellencies, it is an honor and privilege to stand before you today to deliver the introductory remarks at this 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. Let me also extend my profound gratitude to the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe for graciously hosting the 44th SADC Summit and for the warm hospitality extended to all delegations. The excellent arrangements for this summit and all preceding meetings is testament to the commitment of the government of Zimbabwe to the ideals and aspirations of SADC. Your Excellencies, the 44th Sadc Summit is held under the theme Promoting Innovation to Unlock Opportunities for Sustained Economic Growth and Development towards an Industrialized Sadc. This theme takes us further on a transformative journey towards industrialization, which started right here in Zimbabwe through the directive of the 34th Sadc Summit to place industrialization at the core of the Sadc regional agenda. The theme provides a unique opportunity to shape the future of our region and the steps we must take to accelerate progress on our industrialization agenda. To this end, the region should continue to harness the power of innovation to accelerate implementation of key regional value chains and promote technological transfer to increase manufacturing of value-added products and ultimately realize economic growth and prosperity of our region. To date, intra-regional trade stands at a very low level of about 23%, signifying that as SADC member states, we are trading more with the rest of the world than we do amongst ourselves. One of the culprits, if I can call it, driving these low levels of intra-regional trade is the usual suspect, non-tariff barriers. I think the ministers of trade would relate with this one. Despite the zero import duty of 85% of products traded among the SADC member states, intra-SADC importers and exporters continue to encounter new and long-standing unresolved non-tariff barriers. It is therefore imperative to rededicate our collective efforts to implement measures to reduce these barriers and promote intra-regional cooperation and integration. The benefits of an enlarged regional market to the SADC economy and citizens cannot be overemphasized. Our collective market of approximately 389 million people and a combined gross domestic product of about US $841 billion provides an enormous potential for trade and investment opportunities as well as economic growth. In our quest to facilitate enhanced inter-regional trade within our community, your Secretariat is compiling, as we speak, information to produce a list of what we call top 10 exports and imports of SADC member states, and on what the region trades with the rest of the world. This will be used to develop strategic interventions and actions to improve access to markets within our community and to facilitate improved intra-regional trade within the region. I am hopeful, Your Excellencies, that the completion of this exercise will produce declarations on how we will trade going forward and reverse the 23%. The status quo is not ideal in my view, and we must change without delay. Your Excellencies, I'm pleased to report that as part of the ongoing efforts to expand our markets beyond the SADC region, the agreement establishing the tripartite free trade area among the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, the East African Community, EAC, and SADC entered into force on the 25th of July this year, paving the way for member and partner states of the tripartite to access a larger market of now 26 countries, with a population of about 700 million and a GDP of $1 trillion United States dollars. As the chairperson of the tripartite task force, I have already notified all the tripartite member and partner states about this positive development, which is a key milestone in the promotion of intra-Africa trade and enhancement of economic integration in the tripartite area. On peace and security, Your Excellencies, the Sadc region continues to stand out as a beacon of hope for peace, security, and stability in the continent of Africa, notwithstanding the security challenges in the eastern part of the DRC. Our region remains resolute towards finding lasting peace and security in the DRC. Last year, we deployed the Sadc mission in the DRC to support the government to restore peace and security following an increase in conflicts and instability caused by the resurgence of armed groups. This mission should complement ongoing diplomatic processes, namely the Luanda and Nairobi processes, which aim to bring all concerned parties to the negotiating table to find a lasting solution to the conflict. Regarding the security situation in Mozambique and following the deployment of the Sadc mission in the country since July 2021, I wish to report, Your Excellencies, that the mission was successfully concluded on the 4th of July this year, and that the security situation in Cabo Delgado is better off than it was prior to the mission's deployment. Through SAMIM, we succeeded in facilitating humanitarian assistance, controlling radicalization and indoctrination, and in protecting public infrastructure, thus restoring essential public services. In collaboration with the government of Mozambique and other partners, the region has created a secure environment, allowing the return of over 600,000 of the 1.2 million internally displaced persons to their places of origin. Allow me to express our sincere gratitude to His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, the chairperson of the Sadc organ, for his unwavering commitment for sustained peace and security in the region. Under his leadership, our region has taken concrete steps to foster cooperation, to consolidate peace, security, and stability, and in particular to highlight one, unlocking the levers to drive the reform process in the Kingdom of Lesotho. Similarly, I wish to thank the Sadc chairperson, His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, for leading the Luanda process in his capacity as the African Union champion on peace and reconciliation in Africa. It is our hope, Your Excellency, that your diplomatic prowess will help find peaceful and amicable solutions to the conflict in the eastern part of the DRC and bear fruit. Your Excellencies, the 2023-24 rainfall season has been a challenging one, with most parts of the region experiencing the negative effects of the El Niño phenomenon, characterized by a late onset of rains, extended mid-season dry spells, and extreme high temperatures. As a result, an estimated 67.7 million of our people in the region, representing more than 17% of the region's population, have been negatively affected. I wish to take this opportunity once more to express our sincere gratitude to the Sadc chairperson, His Excellency President Lorenzo, for swiftly convening the extraordinary summit on the 20th May of this year to address the humanitarian situation emanating from the drought and floods. He accordingly launched the Sadc Regional Humanitarian Appeal worth approximately $5.5 billion to support the humanitarian needs and disaster response recovery of the affected populations. Your Excellencies, with the increased scope of the Sadc agenda, our region requires adequate financial resources to implement interventions and programs outlined in the RSDP 2020-2030 to enable us to achieve our collective aspirations of a peaceful, inclusive, competitive, middle to high-income industrialized region, as envisioned in our 2050 vision. It is evidently clear that without adequate resources for interconnected, quality, and seamless infrastructure, It will be in the form, be it in the form of roads, railways, ports, energy, or ICT. Our efforts to industrialize and integrate our economies and unlock the region's full potential will stall. It is therefore imperative, as we intensify our efforts to mobilize resources, we should deliberate and expedite. We should be deliberate and expedite the operationalization of the Regional Development Fund. The SADC founders, in their wisdom, envisioned that the SADC Treaty, the RDF as a mechanism for financing programs to accelerate economic development and growth of our region. However, the agreement on the operationalization of this fund is yet to enter into force. As of today, only 8 member states have signed the agreement, with only 1 ratification by the Republic of Angola. May I call upon member states to expedite the processes of signing and ratifying this agreement and follow the lead of our chairperson, President Lorenzo. We also recognize commitments made by the DRC and the republics of Zambia and Zimbabwe to ratify very soon. Your Excellencies, as I conclude, let me highlight the critical importance of paying particular attention to the needs of the youth in promoting innovation, industrialization, peace and security. As Your Excellencies may be aware, the SADC region, just like the rest of Africa, has the youngest and fastest growing population in the world. This provides a democratic dividend capable of embracing new technologies and innovation and sustaining supply of labor to drive the industrialization agenda and spur economic growth and development. We just witnessed this potential coming to life a couple of days ago at the SADC public lecture, ably delivered by our host, His Excellency President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa at the University of Zimbabwe. The youth were taking the lead to innovate, to create new advancements, and simply to dream. The President has put funding aside dedicated to these young men and women to shape the industrial revolution of the country, for which we commend him most sincerely. Your Excellencies, we can all learn from this initiative and possibly ignite the bigger revolution in our region. As part of the implementation of the 41st Summit theme titled Human and Financial Capital, the key drivers for sustainable industrialization in the SADC region, which was adopted last year in Luanda, the region convenes the SADC Youth Forum this year with calls for the region to develop public policies that encourage active youth participation in mainstream economy as well as the representation of young women in the development processes. I would like to reiterate the need to invest in the youth by providing them with the necessary skills, resources, entrepreneurial and job opportunities with a view to unlock their potential, thereby creating pathways for them to become agents of change and contributors of regional integration, sustainable peace and security, and inclusive economic growth. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the chairperson of SADC, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, the President of the Republic of Angola, for his exemplary leadership, guidance, and insights during his tenure. In the past year, the chairperson has demonstrated exceptional leadership, vision, and dedication in steering the SADC towards achieving its mandate. He has provided guidance, wisdom, and deep insights to the Secretariat during his visit to the Secretariat in Gaborone on the 14th of July this year. As we look ahead to the coming year, the Secretariat reaffirms its unwavering commitment to work collaboratively with the incoming chairperson of SADC, His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, the President of this Republic, to move the SADC agenda forward and mainly focusing on industrialization or industrializing our region. With these remarks, I wish Your Excellencies fruitful deliberations as we collectively endeavor to shape the future of our region. I am confident that the outcomes of your deliberations today will positively impact the lives of our citizens. I thank you for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana. Tatenda kia lebuch.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause for the Sadc Executive Secretary, His Excellency Mr. Elias Magosi. At any point of Sadc life, the Executive Secretary comes from any of the member countries. For those who don't know, our Executive Secretary is from the beautiful country of Sadc called Botswana. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to bridge the flow of the program to introduce a proud citizen of Sadc, one that we are also very proud of in the region. He is the President of the Pan-African Parliament, and he is none other than Chief Fortune Charumbira. Thank you. Just to advise again those that are using language translation gadgets, our channels are as follows. English is on channel 1, French is on channel 2, Portuguese is on channel 3, and Swahili is on channel 4. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are live on national television as well as international television, courtesy of the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. We are also coming to you live from the new Parliament building in Mount Hampden, in Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of the 44th Ordinary Summit of Sadc Heads of State and Government Summit, Ordinary Summit of Sadc Heads of State and Government. And those who are on social media or would like to catch us on social media, we are on ZBC News Online, the Facebook page, the Sadc Facebook page, as well as other international TV channels. Distinguished delegates, I'd now like to call upon to the podium our next speaker. The man I'm just about to call is an icon of the independence struggle of the Republic of Zimbabwe. He's a man who's walked the ropes of leadership from being a member of parliament and cabinet minister in 1980 at independence to being the Speaker of Parliament, to being the Vice President, to what he is today. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite to the podium the incoming chairperson of Sadc and the host of the 44th Ordinary Sadc Summit of Heads of States and Government to deliver his welcome remarks. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
May you be seated. The First Lady, my Dr. Mnangagwa, Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency, João Lourenço President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of Sadc. Your Excellency, my dear young brother, Felix Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing Chairperson of Sadc. Your Excellency Samia Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and the Heads of Delegations. Your Excellency, Chairperson of the Sadc Panel of Elders, former President Jakaya Kikwete. Your Excellencies, First Ladies who are here with us. The Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Dr. C.G. Dien Chiwenga, the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired K.C.D. Mohadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Chairperson of the Sadc Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Shawa, Honorable Ministers and various political leaders of the Republic of Zimbabwe who are here with us. Your Excellency Elias Magosi, Sadc Executive Secretary. Your Excellency Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Clever Gateke. Your Excellencies, Heads of Regional Economic Communities and International Organizations who are here. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials and delegates from Sadc member states, members of the media, my fellow Sadc citizens, I feel greatly privileged to be addressing you all when I have been accorded the rare and huge responsibility to take hold of the reins of our revolutionary and transformative regional board, Sadc. On behalf of the government and people of our country, allow me to officially welcome you, Your Majesty, and my dear colleagues, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, as well as your esteemed delegations to the Republic of Zimbabwe. I trust that you have found available facilities perhaps comfortable. The people of Zimbabwe count it an honor to be hosting this 44th Ordinary Sadc Summit. And we treasure your gathering here in the land of the great Emperor Munumtapa. On their behalf, I'm grateful for the opportunity to personally thank you all for the many years of your unwavering solidarity, support, and unbreakable fraternal relations with the Republic and people of Zimbabwe. This has been against the continuing heinous sanctions imposed on our motherland, Zimbabwe, by some Western countries. We are aware that various forms of undue pressure may have been exerted on you over the years to abandon us. Yet you have remained resolute in the true spirit of our liberation wartime mantra that an injury to one is an injury to all. The clarity, solidarity, and unity which the Sadc region has always demonstrated on Zimbabwe, as with other critical peace, security, and climate change disasters in our region, epitomizes the true Pan-African spirit envisaged by our founding fathers of our region. As the people of Zimbabwe, today we once again say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Sadc, for bearing with us the burdens imposed by the last 24 years of illegal sanctions imposed our country because we claimed our land. Today also marks the Sadc Day anniversary. We commemorate the signing of the Sadc Declaration and the Treaty in 1992 at the Summit of Heads of State and Government that was held in Windhoek in the Republic of Namibia. The historic birth of Sadc ushered an era of marked transformation in the region, from a past characterized by segregation and a brutal racial oppression to the present, where we enjoy peace, security, and prosperity in our respective countries. Indeed, since its inception, Sadc has enabled the integration and has improved the quality of life of our peoples. The government and people of Zimbabwe are humbled to join you, Your Excellencies, and your esteemed delegations in celebrating these milestones we have achieved. United we stand, and united we continue to march forward towards a more prosperous future for our great region, Sadc. I invite you all to please find time to sample Zimbabwe's tourist attractions, traditional cuisines, and experience the warmth of the great people of Monomtapa, our great country, Zimbabwe. With these remarks, I welcome you all to Zimbabwe, the world of wonders and opportunities. I don't know whether it's true. Feel at home away from home. God bless you all. I thank you.
Once more, another round of applause for the incoming Sadc Chairman, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, ED. Thank you. Before we move on to the next speaker, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, allow me to announce the arrival and also introduce the President of Mozambique, Mr. Felipe Jacinto Nyusi. Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, I'd like to invite to the podium the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to make a statement. Please welcome His Excellency Clever Gatete.
Yeah, thank you very much, Edie. Your Excellency, Your Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency Mr. Joao Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of Southern African Development Community, Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chair of Sadc, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government present here, all protocols observed, Mr. Elias Magosi, Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, Honorable Ministers here present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to address the 44th Sadc Summit of Heads of State and Government on the theme of promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustained economic growth and development towards an industrialized Sadc. I want to start by conveying my gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for the generous hospitality as the host of this August event here in Harare. I also wish to thank the heads of state and Sadc for this opportunity to deliver my inaugural address in my capacity as the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are meeting at a time when our continent is facing major challenges, especially financing, security, soaring debt crisis, and climate change. Sovereign debt in Africa currently stands at over $1 trillion US, causing severe fiscal stress with more than 1 in 3 countries in or at high risk of debt distress. This is also happening when long-term concession of finance, official development assistance, and foreign direct investments are declining. In addition, climate change is eroding 5% of GDP on average on an annual basis. Actually, last year for Mozambique, it cost them 15% of their GDP. These impacts are quite evident in the Sadc region. That's why we're working on an African position on the reform of the global financial architecture so that Africa's needs are taken into account at the next month's Summit of the Future and the 4th Financing for Development Conference that will take place next year in Spain. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, there are no clear solutions. We have no choice but to look inward for homegrown solutions, including domestic resource mobilization and innovative financing for climate to sustain our development. And Sadc can be a leader on this imperative. The region is home to most of the world's gold, copper, cobalt, lithium, chromium, graphite, platinum, and possesses significant livestock and agriculture endowments. 4 key areas offer Sadc innovative and scalable solutions. One of them is the development of the regional value chains, and this is possible in the whole of Sadc region. Regional agglomeration remains a ticket to sustainable industrialization because fragmented approaches will not generate the jobs we need, nor will it reduce poverty and inequality. Indeed, following our recent visits to Botswana, Namibia, and Ethiopia to study the beef and leather value chains, we have concluded that all of the SADC offers enormous potential to increase export markets within these sectors. That's why we partnered with the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, who have now approved grant financing for a feasibility study in the beef sector for Botswana that will be conducted by ECA, working closely with SADC Secretariat and partners. This will be replicated to other SADC member countries. We also plan to do similar work for the leather sector. In tandem is the energy regional value chain. We must approach energy solutions from a regional perspective to have significant impact. For example, SADC is using only 1% of the solar and wind energy potential. This means that SADC can be a continental energy provider with the development of this value chain alone. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the second area of opportunity is food security. There is no reason why Africa should import food to the tune of over $120 billion per year when SADC can be Africa's breadbasket. This is also why we are embarking on the establishment of the Zambia-Zimbabwe Common Agro-Industrial Park, again working with BADEA, who have also approved grant financing for a study to move forward with this initiative. I'm glad that the President of BADEA himself is here in the room with us. Thank you very much. This is not just critical for SADC, but for the whole of the African continent. Thirdly is the minerals development. Our critical minerals can deliver fair and inclusive prosperity. Our fundamentals for the agenda are stronger than anywhere else in the world. But our window of opportunity is closing. We are using our study on the DRC Zambia Electric Battery Initiative as a proof of concept that we can and should drive mineral beneficiation, and we are working on a roadmap to translate this into a reality that will allow expansion to other minerals such as diamond. Finally, we must leverage technology. Our work with Botswana on the Lobu small stock farm shows the benefits of using smart agriculture technologies for climate change adaptation. With the right investments, we can scale up innovations like this, and not just in the agriculture sector, but in health, education, finance, transport, and many more others. ECA is now developing a platform that showcases innovations across the continent, which can be accessed by all countries. This was one of the requests by member states at our last conference of finance ministers in March this year in the beautiful Victoria Falls. This year's conference of ministers of finance, planning, economic development, and governors of the central bank is chaired by the finance minister of Zimbabwe. These, notwithstanding, significant investments and critical infrastructure development is needed to unlock these opportunities. Governments alone cannot do this. The private sector can play its part with the right incentives and de-risking mechanisms. For us at ECA, we are working closely with the African Development Bank and regional partners to enhance de-risking mechanisms that promote successful public-private sector partnerships. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me emphasize that the impetus for rapid industrialization is not simply a question of convenience. It's a matter of absolute necessity. Homegrown solutions can help us address today's complex challenges. We are here because we believe we can do it. I'm convinced that each of the SADC member countries can be a cluster leader of innovation and breakthroughs, and ECA stands ready to partner with you on this journey. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, honorable vice presidents, first ladies, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished delegates to this opening session, His Excellency Clever Gatete just spoke about the opportunities that are available for SADC to catapult itself to a global economic bloc. I was just reminded of some kind of competition that took place last year. Some British scientists had just dug about 10 meters. They discovered traces of copper, and they made a conclusion that some 200 years ago, their ancestors already had a telephone network. And then not to be outdone by the British, the Americans were also doing their own digging. They dug about 20 meters into the ground. They also discovered the traces of copper. So they then published in one of their journals that in fact the American ancestors had telephone network more than 250 years, 50 years earlier than the British. So there was a group of SADC citizens who also couldn't be outdone by the British and the Americans. So they put themselves together, went around the SADC, and they were digging, and they were digging, and they were digging. They dug up to 100 meters. They didn't find any traces of copper. And they made a remarkable conclusion. And it was published in one of the Cape Town journals. That in fact, more than 300 years ago, our ancestors already had a wireless network. So we do have a very good foundation to start from. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, would like to move on with the program. And just to remind those that are watching, we are live from the new Parliament building in Mount Abden, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of this year's SADC Summit. It is tradition within SADC that a new president within the family must come forward and address the summit. So we do have a new president in our midst, and I'd like to invite him to take to the podium and address the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. He's doing this for the first time. Distinguished delegates, allow me to invite the President of the Republic of Namibia to come to the podium and deliver his maiden statement to the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, please proceed to that one that is reserved for distinguished delegates like yourself. Another round of applause is the President of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, walks to the podium. I thank you.
Your Majesty, King Swati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Dabuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, incoming chairperson of SADC, and the host of the 44th SADC Summit of Head of State and Government. Your Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, President of the Republic of Democratic Republic, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and outgoing chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and chairperson of SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and incoming chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. Your Excellencies, SADC heads of state and government, Your Excellency General Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Mahodi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Your Excellency Mr. Elias Mahotsi, the Executive Secretary of SADC, Your Excellency Ambassadors and High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the medias, our gracious First Ladies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege for me to participate in the 44th Ordinary Summit of Head of